So I want to talk about societal norms. And this one comes close to home because I certainly hit no societal norms, but I want to talk about how our society has gone so far backwards in such a tiny period of time because of half the country. And I want to tell you about one of my favorite people in the world, who was my cousin Rachel. Rachel was, I think 5 years older than me, maybe 6. And she was hilarious. No one has ever made me laugh as hard as Rachel. I would just be in tears and in stitches laughing. She had this beautiful smile. She had wavier hair than me. She was the only other one out of the 5 of us girls in the Gen X generation of my mother's side of the family that had this hair color and the olive skin. Hers was tiny more pinkish than I am, but she had the olive skin and her hair was way wavier. Like, to get my hair to be that wavy, I have to cut it pretty short for it to naturally become pretty wavy. And it is naturally wavy. You can see it kind of wants to, but the weight of longer hair just keeps it from doing it. But she was like, I was like her mini me in a lot of ways. We looked alike. People sometimes thought we were actually sisters. And Rach, she had like a bigger than life personality. She was just gregarious and funny and fun. And I don't even think I've ever had as much fun with anyone else as I did with Rach. She was cool. God, she was cool. But she didn't fit society norms at all, right? I mean, back 70s and 80s, blonde hair, blue-eyed was the main goal. And she was built like an apple, not like a twig. So still, main goal, she was nowhere close. Even if she starved herself and puked herself, every bit of food she ate out, she would never be anything more than a kind of apple-ish shape. She kind of had a build of a linebacker as she lost too much weight, if we're being honest. But she was amazing. And one thing that, always stuck out, or does now, is how we don't allow for people to fit in. And therefore, a lot of times, society's judgment is staved off by people like Rach, by funny humor. People always tell me, oh, you should be funnier. Well, I was funny when I had gotten divorced. I was hilarious. I was depressed as shit, and I was hilarious. And in hindsight, that's why Rach was hilarious. Because I'm the only family member she ever told she was bisexual. I didn't even know what bisexual was. This was like 1986. She explained it to me. Oh, I like women and men. I'm not really a lesbian. I'm kind of like straight and lesbian all rolled into one. She made a big joke out of it. We laughed. She didn't fit society's norms at all. And because she didn't fit societal norms, it took a toll. And she suffered from depression. And she killed herself. And I wonder how many people we are pushing into that same mentality, that same mindset, by forcing norms that we have finally kind of gotten away from. Half of the country right now is pushing for this horrible norm that less than 10% of the women in the country fit? Blonde hair, blue-eyed, twiggy, big fake tits, you know, skinny waist. Almost no one actually fits a Barbie doll description. And so I watch some of these women where they're mutilating their bodies in some cases with plastic surgery, loads and loads of makeup to hide freckles, fake eyelashes, god-awful contacts, anything to make themselves look like that bimbo norm. Anything to make themselves look like the Megyn Kellys of the world. And then, of course, I would argue that none of those women are happy. How can you be happy when you are working so hard to fit a stereotype that literally no one could fit? Add in that Rach was gay, a lesbian, bisexual. She was bisexual. And you guys want to bring that all back, where it's not okay to be bisexual or lesbian or gay. And it's not okay to be an apple. And it's not okay to be brunette. And it's not okay to be different. And it's not okay that you can't force your body into a stupid, tiny stereotype. And it's not okay that you're not a perfect height or a perfect weight. And that's the society that some of you want to drag us back into. And I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. Because Rach is gone because she wasn't straight. She was bi. She wasn't pink enough. She wasn't skinny enough. She was never going to be skinny enough. She wasn't built like an hourglass or a twig. She had more of a manly build. She was never going to attract the right guy for our family. She was never going to attract the right girl for our family either. And she would make jokes, but she didn't even share it with anybody else in the family other than me. I think eventually she told her mom, and maybe that's why she's gone. That was a long time ago, but I wonder sometimes about what we could have done differently as a society. Couldn't we have been better? Couldn't we still be better? How is going back to where 90% of the women are self-conscious that they're not Barbie dollish enough be a good thing? How could limiting people and just hating them for being something that you are not, when you yourself are not this, or not, do not fit the stereotype? I mean, I know plenty of women that are on that runaway train. You don't look like a Barbie doll either, sweethearts. You dress like a man. You wear t-shirts, jeans, work boots. You're not dressed like a woman. What happens when they decide you need to be wearing them big hoop skirts again? What happens when you can't just be who you are? Then what happens? Not everyone is like me. I've always been a fighter. But I do know a lot more people are like Rach. And it breaks my heart to think one of the funniest human beings I've ever known in my life was gone because society wouldn't accept her just the way she was. As always, man, think about it. Peace.